Let's go back to the calculate price method. Once we call this method, it's going to return the total order price, and we can store this value inside this variable called price. Then we can display it on the screen. To integrate the calculate price method into our app, we're going to need to use return values. Let's look at the pseudocode first. Within the submit order method, we want to call the calculate price method. It's going to compute the total price of the order, and it's going to return that as an output. So we're going to store that output into an integer variable called price. Then we're going to take that price and then display it on the screen. Let's look at the actual Java code for that. In the submit order method, we would add this line of code. Do you remember the assignment operator from lesson 2? Whenever I see this, I evaluate the right-hand side first. The calculate price method returns a single value, which is the order price, and that should get stored inside this local variable called price. Then we can call another method, display price, and the input to that method is going to be the price variable that we just created. This is the first time we're seeing how a method can be used as part of an expression. For example, we can call this method, and the value that gets returned from that can be added to other numbers, or if it was a string, we can concatenate it to other strings. All that matters is that the whole thing on the right-hand side gets evaluated to a single value and then gets stored on the left-hand side variable. But for the Just Java app, we're just going to use calculate price directly and show that on screen. For this coding task, you'll be making sure that the calculate price method is getting defined and called properly in the Just Java app. First, focus on how the method is defined. Modify the calculate price method to have the correct return data type in the method signature. Also assume that there's 0 input parameters. The next step is to modify the inside of that method. Make sure that it's returning the correct price of the total order, which is the quantity of cups ordered times the price per cup. You can assume that each cup of coffee costs $5, and you can just hard code that directly into this method. Once that's all done, then you can move on to how the method is getting called. Call calculate price from the submit order method, and you can use the code that we talked about earlier. Then go ahead and display this price on the screen. Now you could use the display price method, but you did a lot of work at the end of lesson 2 to show some text on the screen as well. It also said thank you, so if you could try to integrate this price value with that text, that would be most ideal. It should look something like this, so if you change the quantity and then hit order, then the price shows up here, along with the text. When you're done, check these boxes to continue.